stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Times gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life, there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. I took a walk one street over from my home. Cracked and broken asphalt everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly
WSGI, I'm Utah LaVern, and this is One Street Over. Let's do this thing. What's going on One Street Over from where we're living? One of my favorite days of the month is when I get to talk to our county mayor, Mayor Bille Vogle, my friend. And we just both decided we're just tired.
We are tired,
We're just tired.
and I'm looking forward to the weather today. They're talking about sunshine and warming up, and
Yeah.
last week was something else. It really,
A little
really
cold,
was.
A little cold.
Man,
But,
anybody that's working out in that,
God bless them.
I've seen people up on roofs, and the whole time we worked
Yep.
on the courthouse, people was up there in that air and the wind.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody like's got farming, they was busting ice for the cattle. It just twice a day.
Yeah.
It's really a headache trying to fight that.
That's what people don't realize. If you got livestock, you've got to go out there and make sure that water's not frozen. And I mean, just our dogs. We have, we have two. We have a dog that's like a horse, and I have a barn. So I do not leave him in the house unattended because he's a puppy still. He's over a year old, but he could do some real serious damage in my house. And so we have a nice barn, and we have hay down for them. And so during the day when we're not there, they're in the barn. And we can't let them run loose because we're right next to the wastewater plant, especially with them getting ready to start construction and all that. So we have to, really keep an eye on them. And so, but we'll put water out in the barn and come home. I mean, it'll freeze. You have to, yeah.
A 5-gallon bucket would freeze in an hour.
Yeah.
I had to break ice every day, and
Yep.
So it's just thicker and thicker.
Yeah, that's the thing, and so that's been a dilemma. Is and so we have let him in some because we can't keep the water thawed, and he's better now. He's like I said, he'll be 8. I mean, he turned a year I think in September, but he's a horse. He's a horse. I was afraid he was going to get shot during deer season because he looks just like a fawn, out there.
Put a cow tag in the deer.
Yeah, really.
While we're talking about animals, out animal control, it's a tough time too during the winter.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people, they give up their animals during the winter because of the weather, and then at Christmas a lot of times we'll have a lot of adopted, and about a month after Christmas they bring them back.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it was more chore than they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
On that note, I've got a friend of mine that's got a beautiful chocolate. It's a lab, a black lab, I think. Beautiful. It's 5-year-old female, and they're an older. I mean, I shouldn't say older. They run circles around me, but they're just having a hard time finding time for her. So they're trying to rehome that dog, but they've still got her. So if you know somebody that wants a really sweet, housebroken, female, black lab, I mean, sweet dog, I know a couple that have a dog for you. So let me just throw that out there. So
go by an animal control, pick one out too, because after about 90 days in a cage like that, them dogs, their personality starts changing.
Yeah,
they get depressed. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh, I can't stand it. I can't stand to go out there. It just breaks my heart. I'm just like, oh.
They're all friendly.
Yeah, they're all sweet.
Yeah.
But, we had the county commissioners meeting was moved to last night because of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday last week. So, and the same thing will happen in February. Because of President's Day. It will be we will have a late visit from Mayor Vogle. And you said that you didn't have a real big meeting. There's not a ton going on.
Well, we didn't have a budget meeting in January.
Right.
So we didn't have any budget resolutions at all.
Okay.
And usually it takes me 20 minutes to tell you what all the schools is doing with their money, what the county's doing with ours and stuff. But what's good about it, when we don't do a budget meeting, nobody's asking for anything. So we're staying in budget pretty well.
There you go. That's good news.
Yeah.
That's good news, but nothing too alarming then last night.
No, I checked on our revenues and stuff that's coming in, and everything's about what we had projected. Sales tax.
Good.
I went down to the highway department. Their meeting last week. Rock, gravel, which we use a lot of, went up. It goes up about every month, but our fuel money is not coming in like we really had hoped. Tax money, but I think it'll catch up as it warms up.
You mean as far as the amount of fuel is purchased here locally?
Well, just what the state gives us back. Yeah.
Okay.
After it warms up, it'll catch up. But I tell you, I'm worried about the state TDOT and the revenues. They've got a lot on the paper for the next 12 years, but they really don't have the funds coming in to supply it. That's the reason the governor's looking at choice lanes and all that. I'm not sold on that yet. I'll just be honest with you, because I don't know how many people's going to use them.
You mean as far as kind of like the HOV lanes, the high occupancy vehicle lanes that we had, and all those things that. And I remember, I was doing traffic whenever that came on, and just everybody just putting the big stuffed animals in the car with them, so they'd put something, they'd strap it in and hope nobody noticed that it was a stuffed animal or a blow-up doll or something stupid like that. Oh, there was all kinds of things that people were using to have a passenger in their car so they could use HOV lanes. It was quite the joke there for a while.
Well, I asked them, TDOT, in the meeting one day, I said, what if we have a wreck on 24, which last week I had to go to Nashville, and there was like a 5-car pileup or something. Right. And I sat in traffic for a long time. Yeah. I said, are y'all going to let us go in those lanes, get around the accident? And they said no. Oh. So if you're using that lane, you better be having that app on.
Yeah. So exactly what's the stipulations on it? I haven't heard this.
They're hoping some private companies will build some of these lanes. I don't know whether they're going to get any money out of it or what, but if it goes into their factory, their exit or whatever, they're hoping they'll do some of that. But we'll see how that works. I hear some states do it and some don't.
Well, and trying to enforce it, but I'm guessing they're going to look to a digital reinforcement, kind of like it'll be electronic. And it's just like if you go, whenever I was down in Texas when I was working down there, you had to have this tag on your car to take the toll bridges or to the toll roads. And if you did not have that tag, they were going to find you and be like, okay, what are you doing on our road? Because they would take pictures of your license plate and they would track you down. And and that was, 10 years ago. So technology's only advanced beyond that. So it's only getting easier and easier to keep an eye on you. That's what the point is.
Vern, it sounds like it's just going to be a toll road anyway. It's just using another name for it.
Yeah.
But when I was working in Kentucky, it used to be a toll road all the way to Henderson. Mm-hmm. And the best money I ever spent was throwing money in there because I got home every night quicker and I didn't mind paying it. I was using it, didn't mind paying it.
Right. I was using the toll roads, when I was down in Texas. My problem was, it's like once I quit working in Texas, they ended up overcharging me for time that I wasn't on the toll road. I got into a little bit of back and forth with them. I was like, okay, I don't know what you're saying. It was almost like it was. Okay, this is what you've been averaging, so you must have been down here. And it's like, well, I've left that job, and so I'm not there. So it was almost like it was, you know how you can have things with your water bills that it's the same throughout the year, so it stays balanced. Mm-hmm. So it was almost like, well, you spent this last month, and so we're just kind of gauging it that's how much you're going to, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
They sent me a bill for a month. I wasn't down there.
They was itemizing you.
Huh?
They was itemizing.
Yeah, I guess.
If you use 2,000 gallons a month, they said, well,
so they're like, okay.
Don't even read the meter. Just put her down for 2,000 gallons.
And so I was like, okay, that's not accurate. And so, we got into a back and forth over that, and they did not come to Tennessee and get me over it. So there you go. Yeah. What do you do?
We're dealing with TDOT every day with the, let's say in White House, which is a very good example. Mm-hmm. White House has put out a lot of permits for houses up there. Mm-hmm. They've annexed the land and everything, but they didn't take the roads.
Yeah. And
we've been in several meetings with White House and TDOT. The county doesn't have the money to put in red lights and turning lanes. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to use up there at 76. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Before you get to the school, they're talking maybe $15 to $20 million to fix that intersection.
Dang.
Put in turning lanes and put in a red light. And TDOT just saying they're not going to do it. It's not in their plans. Mm-hmm. So probably when we come out on a county road, if a city annexes the land, and I'm talking about something that's going to happen in the future.
Right.
If the city annexes the land but don't take the road, and the roads really, county roads are not wide enough for the traffic, we're going to start asking developers to help us out on these turning lanes.
I think that's reasonable.
I think it is too. We don't want to put that burden on the taxpayers that's been here for years.
Right.
And it's not going to be popular, but if you're going to have a traffic situation, then that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You can't just come out on a 2-lane county road with all of a sudden 300 cars a day. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at it real hard. In fact, the wheels are turning on it.
Well, and that's something that, traffic. I mean, I was talking with somebody, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, that we need to have the people from White House, city manager. We need to hear from these other communities about the meetings, because we're good about getting you in for the county commissioner meeting. We have Ryan in after the mayor and alderman meeting, but I had a listener challenge me and said we need to hear from these other communities after they have their meetings and say what's going on, because we're all so affected by it. Yeah, and so we're working on that. So,
as a county mayor, of course, I can say these things because I've got to do with the county part of it.
Right.
But if you do the infrastructure inside the housing projects and development, sometimes you got to have some stuff outside too.
You bet. Mm-hmm.
You just can't do what's inside and let it go. Mm-hmm. And it's like White House looked at Troy Atkins, our county supervisor, and said, "Can you put up a red light here?" And Troy told him, said, "I don't have the money to do it." Hey, $1 million won't touch a red light. He won't touch it.
What? That seems insane.
Yeah, well, it's just a lot to it when you get into all that.
Really? $1 million?
Yeah, and I talked to TDOT about getting a red light there, and they told me I was 5 years away.
What?
It ain't that they just ain't got the money. They just don't have the money.
Man, that's incredible.
And then put the $600 million they're going to spend in East Tennessee after that storm, put that out there too in front of it, and they got a lot on their plate.
Yeah,
a lot on their plate.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, but there's a lot too. There's a lot too sitting in that seat as county mayor.
Well, hey, it's not only me. It's our state officials, and of course, we have a lot more meetings than people think about just one red light. A lot of meetings.
Man, I'll tell you, and you just a lot of us, we'll sit there and be like, we just need to let people know we need this, and then it should happen, and.
Okay, at our EMS meeting yesterday, the fatalities was brought up in Robeson County. Last year we got into double figures, and it looked like we're having a bad start already. But whenever we got better roads in Robeson County than in my memory, they're all great roads now. We keep them up. But every time we pave a new road, within 2 months there'll be a rollover or a fatality. People think it's Daytona because you just got a new paved road and they drive too fast. Yeah. And TDOT, they had a study last year because a lot of fatalities are south of Nashville, and that's where a lot of the money goes, the way the growth is in Rutherford and Williamson County. Mm-hmm. And they say a lot of the accidents are drivers that don't even have driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to start looking at it before you get car tags. You're going to have proof of driver's license.
I would have thought that would have already been a thing. It's not. So you can't.
I don't think it is. That's a good question for Angie. Because, well, they never asked me for mine when I get a car tag.
Yeah. Well, but I would think, of course, the workaround on that, there's going to always be somebody that's going to be, they'll just have somebody else go in and purchase it.
Yeah.
And give of course, if the car is going to be it's going to have to be in the name of the person of the license holder, then that makes you liable for it.
Maybe next month I can get her to come with me because
that'd be good.
There's a lot of information, what she does. I was looking in the budget book the other day. She brings in about $1.3 million revenue to the county through car tags, passports, marriage license.
I'm surprised it's not more, quite frankly. Yeah. I figured that the revenue would be higher than that.
So,
but that is a lot. But with just like you said, there's been a lot of people going for passports right now, and
they are.
And
hey, she is backed up. And while we're talking about her
let's
office,
go ahead and talk about that. You and I were talking off mic about
she
that.
is. She's short of employee, and she's looking for somebody that can maybe.
We need bilingual. We need somebody that speaks
Hispanic
Spanish
and English.
Yeah. Because
some people coming in passports, they can't talk English, and it backs the line up out to the elevator in the hall, and it's just that's just the times we're in now.
Yeah, so we need somebody that can speak Spanish. Yeah. Need somebody bilingual working in the clerk's office.
Yep,
right?
Dealing with people. Okay. Always have a smile. The customer's always right now. Don't never forget that.
So, but that would be good. So I wonder, do they have anybody Spanish speaking?
They've got
there?
one, but that's not enough now.
No, not at all. Yeah. But that's good. So we'll put it out there, Angie. We're looking for somebody that's a Spanish speaker, and I talk to so many of my students that are bilingual, and maybe they, maybe their parents were first generation and they're here, and they're struggling to hang on to their Spanish language because they were born here and they grew up here. But I encourage them. I say, man, if you've got the gift of being able to speak more than one language, do not lose that. Don't lose it because it is just more needed now more than ever. Yeah. And,
hey, not only Angie, we're always looking for EMS people. If you're coming out of high school, which kudos to had early graduation. Just
we do.
Done. I don't know how many kids graduate early, but that's a big feat.
We had about 40, I'm thinking, at Greenbrier alone.
Yeah, ain't that something?
30 and 40, yeah. Well, I'm missing because I'm a senior sponsor, and I'm sure missing some of my kiddos.
Well, it took me all 12 years.
Yeah, me
the
too.
whole year.
I didn't get done in 11 and a half, but we were real proud of them, the ones that were able to accomplish that. And a lot of them, while they were doing that, they were even taking college classes. So many of the opportunities that they have in high school now is mind-blowing. How they will come out of school already with credits for college, and some of them I had, one that I was super close to last year, Mackenzie, she, had her associate's degree before she got her school diploma. Dr. Causey's son did the same thing. He had an associate's degree before he got his high school diploma. And, it's amazing that you can do that. It's just what an accomplishment.
Well, I'm going to tell you, EMS workers here in Robeson County, well, not only Robeson, because we're fighting to get our share all across middle Tennessee, a 24-hour shift, some of them folks is making close to $100,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah. Right here in Robeson County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good gig, guys. I just talk to a lot of my kids. I talk to them. I ask them all the time, what are your plans when you graduate? What are your plans when you graduate? And more, I'm hearing kids that are going into the, something that's not a traditional college thing, that they're going to be an EMT or they're going to be a welder or something like that. Go ahead and keep talking. I'm getting a tickle in my throat.
Well, it's that time of year. Everybody's got a tickle in their throat or in their head or something. We're all fighting it.
Yeah.
Last night, like I said, we didn't have any resolutions, but in communications, Gina Head Hebert, she has her 5K run this weekend. And if you want some information on that, the proceeds goes toward a scholarship at Austin P in her son's memory. Call my office today, 384, 2476, yeah.
She was in last week. We talked with her, and just a really interesting conversation. to keep Tyler's memory alive. He was killed in a car accident on his way to school by somebody that was under the influence, and because of that, they have Tyler's Law or Tyler's where you can get these signs put up that say that impaired driving, costs lives, and then in your loved one's memory. I didn't know that was a thing, and what a legacy that she's done to remember her sweet son. Yeah. And this is a run that again funds the scholarship and also research for colitis, I think, something like that.
I remember that word. Yeah.
And
they're talking about the weather being great Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day for it.
Yeah, good day. Hey, let me give an update on the courthouse.
Okay.
If you've noticed, the roof is on. It's finished.
Beautiful.
We've had about 3 heavy rains, and it did not leak a drop.
Yay.
So that's a 20-year roof, warranty-wise. Mm-hmm. I'll be gone before it ever needs to be another one. But still, inside, I took a tour the other day, and all the carpets out. We had a lot of water damage, and it's just surprising how old that building looks right now on the inside. Mm-hmm. But when we get done, we've got to be back in that building around March 10th. So we're running, pretty short time. And I'm hoping to have an open house where people can come in and see what all's been done.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I want to see.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice.
Great.
If you've been on jury duty, up at the jury room, it wasn't but one bathroom and no privacy.
Right.
And that was one of the things that I really wanted was to fix that bathroom where if you serve on jury, you're not doing it at being aggravated. We try to make it more friendly because I'm telling you, jury duty can be very stressful. Mm-hmm. I was on a murder trial once, and we were sequestered like 4 or 5 nights.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
You were sequestered? Where they just have you up in a hotel? And then...
Yes, we was put in a motel and wasn't supposed to talk about it and all that. And, of course, you didn't know when you started, you had to bring a bunch of clothes. Mm-hmm. It was different, yeah. But it was an experience that I'll never get, I'll always remember it, being part of that.
I bet. I can't imagine. You see that kind of stuff in the movies that they're sequestering the jury, and it'd be like, I'd be like, I don't think so. But I was always one. I've never really been picked for a jury, and it's probably because of my media exposure, because I've been, when you're doing, if you're involved in anything news driven, they're afraid you'll be biased or something.
Well, you'll get picked because it's based on your driver's license.
Yeah, but I'm saying I've had to go in, but they
didn't take you.
They didn't take me because they're like, we don't want her.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever. I mean, my memory gets vague. I know I came really close to sitting on one, but I think they kicked me off if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I've had
just to tell for all the old folks in Robbins County. That was a long time ago when I was picked, but Bill Goodman was one of the lawyers, and Judge Pellegrin asked me, said, anybody here know the reason why you shouldn't be serving on this jury? And I raised my hand. He said, what is it, young man? I said, well, his daddy's my dentist. And that judge said, that ain't going to get it, son.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I had to serve, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. His daddy's my dentist. That's funny. That's funny. It's like, that connection, or you're afraid. I mean, that's the thing. You never know what they're looking for. It's just, but yeah, I think if I were, retired and didn't have all the things going on, I would find it interesting. I had my daughter-in-law's father served on a grand jury one time, and he found it just absolutely fascinating. He thought it was really interesting.
My wife's granddaddy served on the jury when Al Capone was at Nashville in the federal court. He served on that jury.
Wow.
But, hey, it's pretty neat. And, you see a lot of people will come to court and just sit back there and watch all day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just it's something to do. They watch.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I've actually had people tell me that they like to do that just like I said, one of my other daughter-in-laws, her parents, when they first married, and before they had any money or anything, they didn't have anything, they didn't have the money to go out and do the social things that you do. And so one of the things they enjoyed doing was going and watching night court. And they would sit in the back. And I've heard them tell stories about that, and that just cracks me up. But that's what they would do for entertainment, is to go and just sit, and they found it fascinating.
Well, wasn't that back when if they arrested you in the middle of the night, they carried you straight to court?
I guess.
If you was bloody, drunk, or whatever, wasn't it?
I guess. But this was in Nashville. This was up in Nashville. But I'd have to ask them for the specifics. But when they were telling that one day, I was like, what? It just cracked me up, because they just, they love to travel and all that now, and so I just could not imagine them doing that. But I thought it was just hysterical. But like you said, some people find that stuff. Well, it's like when I was doing traffic, we got to a place where to have the dispatch radios that I needed so I could really hear what was going on, I had to have them programmed by the radio room with the local police. Like in Nashville, they would program my radio because it became a guarded thing, because so many people, that was a pastime for them, listening to the scanners and just the things that would go wrong because people could listen to what the police were saying. You don't want the nefarious people hearing the chatter of the police. And so it got to be, because it was a thing. People would go get a radio and they would listen to it. And then people who were trying to do crimes, it's like, well, police are here, here, and here. So it got to where we had to have them programmed. And so it was quite interesting that people do find that fascinating. People will sit and listen to it, and then the guys who are up to no good will too, and see what's going on, so they can kind of figure out their plan. So you can't do that anymore. You can't hear it. So
it's just the way people are. The animals, dinner salami or something. What do you call it? I don't know. Where that storm, the animals run up to the mountains, and people come down to the bank, the shore.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But talking with Mayor Bille Vogle, this is our county mayor. If you're new to Robertson County, he is the guy that you can talk to about things going on. He presides over the county commissioners meeting that happened last night. Typically happens the third Monday, but we had, or is it the third or the second? I'm so confused.
It's the third.
It's the third Monday, and it was the fourth Monday this month because we had a holiday.
When's the city meeting? Well, there's
city meeting is on the third Tuesday.
Yeah, so that'll be tonight.
Yes, they were in here last week, so we had that meeting, because typically county commissioners meeting is on Monday night. City county the mayor and alderman meeting for the city is on Tuesday night, and this is our county seat, Springfield. I had Mandy Christensen in from the chamber out in White House, and we were talking to this. This is again my listener who challenged me, and you know who you are, and I'm working on it. Said, I want to hear from the people in White House, and I want to hear from the different, little communities around, that if they have a meeting, we'd love to have them in the day after or the day of, so we know what's going on a little bit more in some of the little communities that are part of our county. So, and of course, you can't say White House is a little community. It's like, geez, it's a metropolis in and of itself.
Yeah.
But part of it's ours. Part of it's ours, y'all.
All 11 of them.
Yeah, there
all
you go.
11 of them, yeah.
Like herding cats, isn't it, Mayor?
That's right. Because usually the cities work on their budget before the county does.
Okay.
So I'm going to say all the cities are done started. We'll start working on ours next month.
Okay.
And we'll meet every week, budget committee, and we'll have all department heads come in. They'll sit down at the table, and we'll with the public, if you want us to come, it's always a meeting that's open to everybody, where you hear what the requests are and how much money they need for the next year.
Okay. Very good.
All right. We done our election appointments last night, and I'm having a big turnover in zoning. It's a hard job. We are growing so fast, and there's so many people that's wanting to shut the gate. But they're coming in here, folks, and I had 3 or 4 resign just this past month. When we do a zoning that's maybe something controversial, their phones ring off the wall.
I bet.
Yeah, and I had one guy that I picked for zoning. He wanted to serve, and we had something real controversial come up. And he resigned before he ever done the first meeting because of the phone calls he was getting. He was in a business, too, and people was fixing to boycott him. And, hey, it's tough. It's tough.
Man.
And,
I can't imagine.
But we like planning and zoning. We had a 4-year terms. Jeremiah Pierce is good to 2029. He is a county commissioner. Robert Buck from Adams, 2029. He's a brand new on the board. Young man wanted to serve. And Matt Crabtree, he's filling the unexpired term of Danny Borthwick, and that term expires in 2028. Danny has served for a long time. I can't guess the years, but it's well over 25, I believe. Yeah, he just told me, he said, it's time.
Okay.
He'd been there a long time. So we got those 3 gentlemen on board. We're going to have one more vacancy coming up. I got a heads up that I got another guy fixing to resign and retire. And I'm going to try to put a lady in that group. We've got a couple ladies on that board, but they've got a different perspective about some things.
Okay.
And everybody needs to be heard.
Yes, we do.
Yes, they do. Okay, Board of Zoning Appeals is a 5-year term. Tom Wilkes, if everybody knows Tom, he works at the assessor's office. He is on that board to 2030, and a young man named David Goodman. He'll be on there from 2030, and he used to be an alderman at Adams, but he decided he wants to get on the zoning board. And most people, they don't understand zoning, but when something happens around their neighborhood, they see how important it is. Zoning is there to protect you, folks. Some of the people that go up there maybe get permits or whatever, they think it's a hindrance, but it's there to protect you so we can try to gauge what's coming in your community and be sure that it's done right. And be sure it's done real right. All right, agriculture was 2-year terms. Corey Blick will be new coming to that committee. 2027 be his term. Randy Wilson is a county commissioner down around the south part of the county. He's a farmer. He's on that board. He'll be there in 2027. Julie Russell, she's on there for 2027, new term, 2-year term. She raises cattle out toward between Ralph Maxey Road there. Jeff Ayers, Cedar Hill, he's a county commissioner. He 2027. And Gina Head Hebert has a little farm right out here outside of Springfield. So she's on the agriculture committee. Workhouse board is a 2-year terms. It's Jonathan Rummel, 2027, and Michael Bubba Doris, 2027. And 911 is a 4-year term. Nancy Johnson from Orlinda will be on there till 2029.
Okay.
If you've ever been to the 911 meetings, it's very interesting. Right now, they're in the middle of redoing addresses on roads that's run out of house numbers. And people don't like their house number changed, but sometimes it just has to happen.
Yes, mine many years ago. I went from 529 to 2796.
Well, I went from 2921 to 5805.
Yeah.
They start building houses in between the houses, and next thing you know, the ambulance can't find out who's who.
Yeah.
Or fire trucks or whatever.
It's for your safety. I mean, that you get these things labeled correctly.
In the rural areas, you say, well, that's not a big deal. Maybe it's not. But in the city, the way they're building these houses now in between, and, somebody applied for one out in the county, I think on Pearson Road, and all the numbers has done been used up.
Yeah.
So they're going to change everybody's because a new house come in there.
Yeah. That's what happened to us, and I mean we've long since gotten used to it. But I still remember when we were 529 and the business was 527 because we had a business address as well when we were a roofing company, full blown roofing company. But because we were a roofing company for 20 years down there.
Well, imagine Memorial Boulevard. I'm going to talk about it. Hardee's. You got the shopping center back behind it, the restaurant that used to not be there, and now they got the strip malls in front.
Oh, I know.
And they have run out of addresses.
Yeah.
And eventually they're going to have to redo all Memorial Boulevard, which I know those folks ain't going to be happy. They're not going to be happy at all.
No, not at all.
And they come to the 911 meetings and air their air whatever grievances, but it's just something that has to be done.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is all the kind of thing you miss if you don't go to the county commissioners meeting. You can watch it online. They have everything available for you. You can watch it live online. They stream it live, as my understanding. I don't think I've ever tuned in to that. I need to do that someday.
You need to do that.
Or maybe just need to pop in someday and just come see y'all. But they meet. Where do y'all meet? We're
on the 3rd floor of the office building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be the.
It's in the juvenile court room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the building where you go and get your tags and all of that's the office building. That's the county office.
That's county office building. It's right there beside the sheriff's office. General Sessions Court is where you go in. And, of course, you got to go through the scanner and all that. There'll be plenty of deputies there. And you sit wherever you want to. And now, to be transparent by state law, before the meeting starts, if you want to speak on anything that's on the agenda, you sign a sheet, and we'll when I say it's time for the public to have a chance to speak, you'll be recognized.
And that's the big thing, guys. It's got to be something people are like, well, I'm going to go talk. It's got to be something that they're covering that night. It can't be just something
You
random.
just can't bring something out of the blue.
And if you have something that you want to address, though, you can present it and say, "Can y'all look at this maybe next month or in a meeting coming up?" That's how you. If you've got something that you think needs to have,
you know
some coverage or something, you can submit it for consideration. Correct.
To be civil and not ambush people.
Right.
Your neighbor's got a chicken coop and you don't like it, so you just can't come to meeting and all of a sudden want to talk about chicken coops.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're going to treat everybody the same.
Right.
Everybody we give you 3 minutes to talk, because if you go longer than 3 minutes, you lose the county commission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Their attention span.
Yeah, and if you're going to do that, you need to come prepared. People have no idea how quickly 3 minutes goes. That's one thing I have found. When people want to just randomly get up and talk, they don't realize how quickly time goes. But then when I give my kids an assignment and I say, I want you to produce something that's a minute and a half long, they'll give me something that's 30 seconds long. It's like two sides of the coin there. But anyway, I'm sorry. I digress. I'm thinking about my students already and the things that are going to happen today.
We're multitasking.
There you go.
All right, let's get into public hearing on zoning.
Okay.
And like I said, we completely bypassing the resolutions for our budget because we'd had Clyde Richards, our county attorney. He called me last week. He said, Mayor, I cannot remember a time in my career that we did not have a resolution about the budget.
Yeah.
And I can't either. And I'm almost a 30-year termer when I come out. I can't either. It's unreal. Mm-hmm. It just blows my mind. But anyway, we went straight to the public hearing. And this is where we're not talking about public comments for chicken coops or dogs or whatever. This is strictly about zoning. And you still have to sign a sheet and say which one you want to speak on. Like right at the start, we went from agricultural residential, which is Ag 2, to low density residential R40. That was in the 3rd voting district. Is a young man named Kevin Nash. Mm-hmm. I'll ask, we'll read what they're wanting, and the package on that one resolution is about 20 pages. Mm-hmm. Everything is put in here about why, the boundaries, and I asked, is anybody here to speak on a resolution? And there was not any. So then we went to B. We had 2, going from Ag 2 to Rural Preservation District RP 80. RP 80 is an 80,000 square foot lot.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's a pretty good sized lot. That's about as big as you can do without going into 5 acres. And we had on District 3 and District 4, we had 2, and we had no one to speak on those resolutions. Mm-hmm. Now we went from C is Rural Preservation RP 80 to Commercial District C1. All right, this was general commercial, and this was up in District 2 up there at White House off 31W. Mm-hmm. This is the 4th time this young man's come to zoning. He has been turned down 3 times before. But you wait 6 months and you can come back and reapply. He did I'm just going to say he did a better job explaining. The big question here was water runoff on 31W. There's a church across the road that's in Sumner County. One side of the road's Sumner, one side's Robinson.
Right.
So where's the water coming from? But it's affecting a creek down there running behind a neighborhood, and we had several. I think we had at least 12 to 14 people got up and spoke.
Oh, wow.
About the water problem.
They care about that, yeah.
Yeah, and about just one lady was concerned about the street lights around this what it is, it's going to be storage buildings. And she was concerned about, she called it light pollution. It's...
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that because that's one thing, where we live. There's somebody that's built up on top of the hill.
Yeah.
And they have these big lights. And I don't see them once I'm down in the hollow. Once I'm down on my place, I don't notice them. But it's like I used to just love that just really dark approach at night, and now these beacons up on top of the hill. But it's their property; it's up to them. Yeah. But it is. I get it. I love the dark, and so I get it.
And then we had like 5 or 6 stand up and speak for it.
Yeah,
the buildings, and each of them got 3 minutes. So you see where we went through about 45 minutes there. But I want everybody that got up and spoke was very polite.
Yeah.
They didn't try to go over their 3 minutes.
Yeah.
They just said what, we've had a lot of practice. Like I say, this is the 4th time, but it did pass last night.
Okay.
It did pass,
Okay.
but I'm telling folks, just because it passed don't mean that it's going to be a problem, because the county has an engineer. Now, this guy has permission to bring to us his site plan now that he has been rezoned. And our engineer and his engineer will write up where this water is going to be run.
Gotcha.
And how's it going to run and how fast. And if he don't do it to our engineer's specs, then he won't do this project.
I got you.
We won't let him do it.
Okay.
You don't spend the money to do what this guy's doing without getting zoned first. That's just the way it is.
But I do. When you're talking about the lady with the light pollution, I feel you. It's like when you move out to the country, don't bring your beacons, y'all. You're moving out there for the solitude and have your lights, but let them kind of be a little low key, you know. I don't know. People come out and put bright lights up in the middle of the country. I'm like, why'd you move to the country?
As a mayor,
lights off.
I've had some complaints. We got a tower in the western part of the county that our county deputies, EMS, and everybody's on. And it's a Homeland Security tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it blinks red all the time because of the airplanes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And if that's in somebody's line of sight.
When the red light quits, all of a sudden a big light just comes on. It stays on. And the neighbors that live around it tell me it's just like somebody shining a light in their bedroom windows.
That's just saying that it needs to be fixed.
It needs to be fixed.
Well, I can see. I mean, I can see that would be a short annoyance. And again, whoever's living at the top of the hill, I'm just teasing y'all. But I'm like, turn your lights down, y'all. It's a little bit bright.
It's kind of like the deal with Chevy Chase in that Christmas movie when he turns on his house.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way it did you.
Well, yeah. Well, and see, my kids, one of my boys is talking about possibly building on the top of our hillside. And after these folks, and this is like not even really, I don't think it's even that close to our property line, but I can see it when I come down the hill. And I got to thinking the other day, I thought, man, if they build up on our hill, they're going to have lights, and that's going to be, I don't know if I...
Big Brother's watching you.
But I've kind of thought a little, I'm like, I really like it dark down here. I don't know if I want another house with a bunch of lights on it down here. And of course, I'd love for my kids to move and build down here, but I'm just kidding.
You'd be surprised the calls I get about lights like that.
Yeah.
I had a guy call me last month, or was it last 2 weeks, whatever, 2 weeks ago. There was a dead cat in his yard, and he wanted me to come get it. He said, I'm a taxpayer, and said, I expect you to come get this dead cat out of my yard.
Are you kidding me?
Well,
somebody actually called our county mayor to get a dead cat out of their yard. Come on, people.
I mean, and the guy may be listening right now, and I'm like,
that's ridiculous.
I thought, man, I was dumbfounded. But
was he kidding?
No, he was not. He was not kidding. He's a taxpayer, and the mayor need to come to get this dead cat out of his yard. And it's like, what else is going to come around today?
I'm telling you, God bless you.
He said, my wife says it's going to be stinking to the high head if you don't get out of here.
Oh my gosh. I'm just looking at my banner. I just realized I spelled your name Bille.
Well,
I apologize. That is incorrect, folks. I don't know if I can fix that or not, but I'm just sitting here looking at what I did, and I'm like, I misspelled your first name, Mayor Vogle.
The last thing we had on zoning, which to me is one of the most important things, that exit 19 out Maxey Road.
Yeah.
That's the only exit that I can think of. Well, it's the only one in Robinson County that hasn't been took in by a city. The cities have took in all the exits because that's where the revenue's at. Don't get me on my soapbox. But anyway, this exit belonged to Robinson County 100%.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of proposals out there. Back in the 80s, a guy wanted to put in a racetrack out there, like Talladega.
Yeah.
And we've been down a lot of roads about different projects going out there. But finally, something come up and was brought in front of zoning Monday night. Charles Hand owns the Budweiser distributorship in Clarksville. He is very, very successful, him and his son. And he's down there in the middle of, I think, St. Bethlehem. If you'll notice, the traffic's unreal. He wants to bring his corporate headquarters out to exit 19.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And to me, that is a perfect fit for that exit. You're right off the interstate.
I think so too.
The traffic will not be bothering Robinson County. There'll be trucks at 3 o'clock in the morning going in and out, some back up on the interstate. But 300 employees, this is the perfect thing to put at that exit, I think, and still be in the agriculture-looking community. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the folks around there, he keeps it real neat around there. He bought that truck stop and cleaned it up. So he rezoned 22 more acres with the truck stop to be commercial to move his headquarters out here.
I think that's cool. That's
I
awesome.
do too.
Yeah, awesome.
He's owned his land longer than I've owned mine.
Yeah.
And this is his. And if you've been out there to his place, it is a show place.
Very, very much so.
And he's not going to do
Very cool.
anything. If you talk to him, he's not going to do anything to make it look any different. But, something eventually was going to come out there.
Oh, yeah. But I think that's, and you want the right thing, and that sounds like the right thing, for sure.
Yeah, the last thing that was talked about out there was kind of like a Disneyland deal, and that fell through. I mean, I didn't get involved in it that much, but it didn't happen.
What exit was the zoo on for a while? That was it.
Yeah,
That's
golf courses, zoo,
Yeah.
Swimming pools, splash pads, condos.
Yeah, we've had all kinds of things, but I mean, people forget we had the zoo. The Nashville Zoo was at that exit, and I remember when it opened, and it was a hilly walk. I mean, it was beautiful. But then they moved it down to Nolensville Road, where they had Grassmere Park, and they made that Nashville Zoo. Which
At one time, Randy Boyd and UT Farm looked at that location in case something was to happen to the experimental farm up here at Cortland.
Right. Is there not anything with the zoo still down there? Do they have like some housing for animals or something? Because at one time,
You talking about Maxie Road?
yeah,
No, there's not.
okay. Because at one time where they had the zoo, they had some kind of like, I don't know, housing and things for some animals. But I guess they've moved all that to Nashville because the Nashville Zoo is huge now. Yeah. But people don't remember. That's been a long time ago.
Keep in mind, Exit 19 doesn't have any sewer. And so Mr. Hand will probably be putting a lot of infrastructure in for himself.
Right.
Yeah, not on the taxpayers' dime, but on his dime.
Well, that's cool. That's that's exciting.
I'm excited that we've got something going out there that I think the people in that community
will be happy about.
Be happy.
They knew something was coming, so
Right.
that's a good fit. That's good news. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's good news.
Absolutely. Let's pause for a second. It's almost 10 till 9.
You haven't done any commercials.
Yeah, I haven't. I've got just the one to talk about. We're talking about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Just appreciate so much their sponsorship of the program, and you will appreciate so much what they can bring to the real estate table. If you are buying or selling, whatever it is that you're doing, a lot of people, they want to buy property, but they don't even know how much they qualify for, and that's something that Rebecca and I have talked a lot about. It's crucial that you find out, what can you qualify for, and people will ask Barry, well, is it a good time to buy because interest rates are this? And he says it's always a good time to buy because they're not making any more real estate, and the property that you're looking for may only come up available once in your lifetime. Because sometimes land, the property that I live on, I don't intend to, sell it. And I had a lot of people go, well, if I'd have known that was for sale, you want to, if something comes up that you're interested in, you need to get on it, whether the interest rates are high or low, because what he says happens is when interest rates are high, then property values, the asking price for the property goes down. If interest rates are low, those property values go up. He says you're going to end up, it's a wash either way. He says just if you're interested in buying, find out how much you qualify for, talk to them, and they can give you all the parameters on what's available and where it's available, where the areas you're wanting to live. Now, if you're selling, cannot say again and again, we repeat that, what Barry brings to the table with his marketing ability. He was a vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years up in Nashville. That's incredible. It's priceless when it comes to making sure your property is seen in the best light so people don't just flip past it when they're looking at listings. So if you want the help that is expertise in so many ways, Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty, her real estate office is up in White House. His brokerage office is here in Springfield. They combine those two to bring you a new branch in the Exit tree. Exit's a great company, just perfectly fitted for just all your needs. Rebecca really examined that when she was going into real estate. And so she says, if you want us to mentor you into real estate, you won't find a better company than Exit to work with. They are Exit Prime Realty, Barry and Rebecca Richards. All you got to do is reach out to them by going to, you can just Google them, Barry Richards, Rebecca Richards, but you can find them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, BUY, robertsoncounty.com. And always, please let them know that you turned.
We had on zoning, man, I'm tickled to death about that out there.
Yeah, for sure. That's good news.
Well, it is good news because, it could have been a lot of different things.
Right.
And one thing about it, once you do zone commercial, if they sell the property, then somebody may put something on it different.
Yeah.
But he won't do that.
Yeah.
He's proud of that place out there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it is. It's very well.
But other than that, we didn't have any old business, no new business. And, of course, every month we do our notaries. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we had. But I just want to tell everybody that here after Christmas or whatever, we still need your sales tax dollars bad.
Yeah. Buy local.
Try to buy local if you can. Like I was saying, around the interstates and stuff, the county may not get all that revenue, but still we need what you do spend. We get a percentage of it. Mm-hmm. The school systems run off sales tax, and that's very, very important. The mayor of Nashville down there, I've told y'all, he's got a transit plan that's 12, 15-year build out, and he raised sales tax about 0.25% to pay for that plan. And he just said right out front, 60% of the money that will come in is from people that live outside Davidson County. Mm. They go into Nashville and they spend their money. And that's what tourism is big in Nashville. It's big in Robeson County. Mm-hmm. If Nashville ever gets a Super Bowl, we'll get a major payday out of that. Just Robeson County will. So be aware of, if you can buy stuff in Robeson County, it helps our merchants out, it helps our businesses out, and they hire employees too.
Very good.
Yeah, I think it's really important. And I ain't got a whole lot. If you got something about schools or something.
Well, just the kids are having to go every day this week, and they haven't had to since they got back from Christmas. That's much to their chagrin. And it's so funny. The teachers, some of my fellow teachers, we were talking yesterday. It's like it looks like our snow day possibilities are pretty much, because the extended forecast is looking pretty mild through February. So the kids are going, so you don't think we'll have any more snow days? And I'm like, I don't know. We could in early March or something, but that's one thing. It looks like February is going to be beautiful. I mean, I don't know. And of course, the weather tomorrow will be terrible, but I mean, from what we're looking at, it looks like we're going to have some really good stuff. So, but there's it's just the business as usual. I will kind of mention too that March 3rd is the Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center Legacy of Hope annual banquet that they have. So they're going to have it this year at the center, because one thing, if you've gone to the dinner for Open Door, they pack the house. When they've had it at Ruby Cora, is that what it's called out there? Beautiful place, but it's just too big of a crowd. And I think they've had it at Fieldy. They've had it at the barn at Fieldy Farms. And again, just pack the house. And so they're trying to increase the capacity. And so that's why they're bringing it to the center this year. And so if you want a table, though, if you want to help with this, you need to reach out to them right away and just make sure that that they know that you're wanting to be a part of this. But again, it's the Legacy of Hope annual banquet that is happening on March 3rd. And they, of course, would love to have you be a part of that. And if you want to host a table, anything like that, you can reach out to Sean Elmore, and she can just call the facility.
They do a great job.
They do a wonderful job.
Them and Costa and
Costa,
Isaiah House. Yeah, Costa. Yeah. And Isaiah House and
Isaiah 117 House. Well, you think about it. We've got we have the Open Door, we have Casa, we have Isaiah 117, we have Recovery Court, we have the Safe Baby Court. Who are we forgetting? Those are the ones that are off the top of my head. And just amazing. It's the thing that we always talk about is, if you really want to make a difference in your community, you've got to help make your community, you've got to heal your community from the inside out.
The nonprofits are very important.
Yeah.
And right now, they're all trying to get their budgets ready, too.
You better believe it.
Yeah, they're trying to reach out to people for donations and hey, it's tough. It's really tough. It's
Well, yeah,
we're
and
all
we've
fighting.
had a really rough economy where your extra income has been depleted, and so people, it's like one of the first things they do is cut their donations a lot of times, and the nonprofits feel it, and yeah, Lee Marie's reminding us again about the Tyler Head Run is this Saturday. We've already mentioned that, Lee Marie, but we'll certainly double down on that again. It's at Travis Price Park, and I forget. I'm thinking it starts at about 8.
I think, yeah, and
like that.
as she said, it's a fun run. We're not trying to knock everybody out and see how fast you can do it.
Yeah, it's just to come together to remember her sweet boy and to raise some funds for a couple of really good causes. One of them being a scholarship at Austin P, where he was headed to class that day, the day he was killed, and
Agriculture scholarship.
yeah, for sure. And so just a very, very, very worthy cause, and just appreciate so much all the things going on in the community. And if you're wanting to find out more about the community events and things that are going on that the nonprofit world, reach out to United Way. They can connect you. If you're looking for something to be a part of, you can reach out to United Way, and they can plug you in a perfect spot.
Ace has took back over United Way.
Yeah, she's taking it over.
She's back.
Ace is so funny because she was with United Way and then went and worked for the city, and now she's back at United Way, and she's in the capacity. I forget exactly what her title. She's not in the same capacity.
Yeah, she's kind of like over several counties.
Yeah. And then you have Brian will be in here on Thursday. They gave up their time last week because we had Steve Hemphill on for an hour. And if you have not met Steve Hemphill and heard about active faith and the spiritual warfare ministry he does, it's breathtaking. And they have a pilot that they're sharing. It's a television show about some of the real wild stories that have happened. It's just, if you've ever read about spiritual warfare, some of the inexplicable things that happen are just breathtaking. And Steve has got story after story after story. And so there's been this idea to build a program around that. And so they had the pilot. They did a screening for us last night at Madison. They're doing another screening on Wednesday at Lipscomb. And I will get the information and put it up in my timeline if you want to go check that out. But there's so much to the ministry. And if they can find the funding to do this, I think it'd be powerful. But it is. Spiritual warfare is a real thing, y'all. And if you don't believe it, just go and spend some time on Active-Faith website and just look up Steve Hemphill, and you'll find some of these videos and some of the stories he tells. And I know him very well. He's not embellishing any of it, guys. He's just saying, here's what happened, and it just will blow your mind. It really is something else. But I'll mention that, too. You got anything else? We got a couple of minutes here, you know?
I'm just glad to see the sunshine and warming up. It's going to be a beautiful day. We get to work for Robeson County today.
I know. I can't. People are like, hey, I can't believe Mayor Vogel and LaVern ran out of words. They didn't run out of stuff to talk about.
Like I say, we didn't go over our budget this month and spend any money that wasn't budgeted. So that saved us a lot of time.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like that. I like that. And just again, a reminder that the county commissioners meeting, will be held the fourth Monday instead of the third because of the President's Day holiday next month. And you see if you can get Angie in here.
And one more thing. Mm-hmm. Jordan's retiring.
I know.
Resigning. I think she's resigning. She's not retiring. She's going to work with her husband.
Her and her husband.
But hey, I'm going to tell you talking about a spark plug.
Yes.
She is, everything she does, she hits it head first, and she got a crowd that follows her and gets in there too.
Yeah.
So hey, Jordan has done a great job for Robeson County.
And I'm not sure when her last day is. I wasn't sure we hadn't already missed it, but I need to reach out and see if I can get her in here.
I think it's sometime in March.
Okay, I'll reach out.
Maybe the end of March.
I would love to have her back in here for one more visit, and she can also promote what her and her husband are doing. We all like to promote our businesses, but I think they do excavation.
Yeah.
Or something, hauling.
They did the work out there at Chick-fil-A.
Okay, really?
Yeah, I mean, hey, she'd be a great sponsor.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go, Jordan.
Sponsors.
There you go.
We got to get some sponsors. I know I've been lazy about getting out and getting some new sponsors. This has been a busy year, but we'll have Veterans Motorplex will be coming back on here in March.
Yeah.
Because
he's a nice guy. Jerry's a nice guy.
He's had some illness though. I hope Jerry's doing okay. So we're praying for you, brother, that you get better. But we'll be racing out of Veterans again here just in a minute. So it won't be long, guys. Spring is coming. I know that Amy Corbin's very happy about that. She hates winter. She's talking about one of our other sponsors that we've had in the past. We love them at Corbin Creek get out there and see them. But all right, Mayor, it's 8 o'clock, so we can say bye now.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you for joining us. I hope you'll join us tomorrow once again for One Street Over. Have a fabulous day. This is 1100 WSGI.